Welcome back. Been a while since I've done a video. Been a bit busy sorting stuff out, and I thought I'd bring you back to show you the new machine, new to me anyway. It's a HAAS VF-0E that I picked up about 2 weeks ago now. We've got everything moved around a little bit, so things are a bit of a mess. We've now got the lathe is over here set up. I've got a bit of rack in there which is used for something else. Might make myself a bench over this area, a bit of tooling rack there, and obviously I've got the mill set up here. It's taken me quite a while to get everything sorted. You think you just get these things in, plugged in, they're ready to go, but I had to run new wiring. I wasn't quite happy with the power supply that was there, so we changed it and just run some new armoured cables straight from the mains fuse board with isolated switches and got them completely separate to everything else. So I'm happy with that now, and it's up and running. I've had it for a week and a half roughly plugged in. Never used one of these before, never done, you could say the XYZ DPM bed mill that I had before, which I've sold, was CNC but not G-code CNC or CAD-CAM compatible in that sense. So that machine that's been sold, that's gone to its new owner. I just found myself a bit frustrated with that, the fact that it's not enclosed and the mess it will make with chips and coolant splashing around on the floor, and I like to keep the place as tidy as I can. You'll see in a minute it's a little bit of a mess here and there. I need to do a bit of racking, a few benches and stuff. But yeah, I wanted to get rid of the open bed mill and get a VMC. So this is what we've picked up. It's a year 2000. VF-0E, which is the E stands for extended bed, so it's got 762 travel on the X instead of around 500. So I think it's 762 on the X, 400 on the Y, and 400 or 500 on the Z. This has got the chip auger as an extra. It's got macros, rotation and scaling, rigid tapping. It's got part fitment of the Renishaw probe there, but it hasn't got the actual probe tool itself, so I'm just keeping my eye out for a second-hand one because they're very expensive, but all the macros are in the machine for it, and that part and the power supply is there, so it'd be good to just get the probe. So I think I've got to look for a TMP 10 or 12 or one of the new OMP 40, OMP 40-2s. If anyone knows of one going about, give me a shout. So yeah, we picked this up, we've got it plugged in, we've got it working. It has those extras on it, which was good. It's fourth axis enabled, but there's a tag on the fourth axis servo drive saying that it's faulty. I've not got a fourth axis, so I can't check that. I've still got my small HAAS servo indexer, which will work on this off the optional M functions, which is great, so I can still use it for indexing parts and add that into the program as I'm going. It also has programmable coolant, the P-cool. To aim, you can change the height of the coolant nozzle to suit the tool, so you don't have to keep leaning in the machine and adjusting to get it on your tap or your drill or your end mill, or whichever you've got there. Most people know about these machines if you've ever looked into the HAASes. They are old. To me, it's new, it's exciting, it's great, but these are old hat now. It's nearly 20-year-old machine. But when you're starting out and you've not got work behind you or contracts behind you or repeat work for 50, 60, 70,000 pound machines, it's just not an option for 99% of people. So something like this, although still very expensive and very old, you've got that risk of things going wrong with the machine, and some people say things can't be fixed. There's always someone somewhere you can find who will fix input boards, output boards, servo drives and things like that. This does have the later AC brushless servos on it, so they're a lot better and they're easily fixed in comparison to the older brushed motors and drives and things like that. So that's a little bit better, but it's as good as I can get, and I'm well happy with it. Everything works. It's got a 20 station umbrella style tool changer. It doesn't have through spindle coolant, although that was very rare. It's got washdown hose, again good coolant system, quite high pressure. And I'm learning to use Fusion 360, watching John Saunders, NYC CNC, Titans of CNC, picking up any sort of Fusion 360 tutorials that I can, and with the older machines, you can program it on G-code, and that's all well and good if you're doing small stuff, but to me, things are new, and I want to get into stuff that's more contour, 3D shape, so CAD-CAM is the only way forward, really. And I'm just about getting the hang of it, so I'll just show you the machine. Like I say, it's an old machine, not exciting to some people, but awesome to me. So there's our tool changer. We have got 12 tools set up at the moment because I'm about to run a program that I'll show you in a bit. We've got 50mm face mill in there. Our vise is on with a bit of stock. You'll notice here the coolant is green. Now this is Rocal Vika SS coolant. So it's a new coolant out, and I didn't realise it was green when I ordered it, but it's green and it seems to be doing the job. So there's a nice sized bed on it, and I do like the fact you've got this sort of chip tray with the drains on each side. There's the chip auger, which will come out the side. I've just got this little bucket here for the moment, and it just pushes the chips up and out. I love the fact these side panels, rather than having to unbolt them, you just lift them up, and there's your access to wash down the machine or do whatever you're going to do. And then putting it down, you just have to lift it and slide it down again. That is brilliant in compared to having to undo little half button latches and things like that. There's our wash down hose, our coolant pump, and there's the control cabinet and the lube system and stuff down there. It's a really clean machine, to be fair. There was a couple of little issues when I bought it, real small issues. The little lights here didn't work. Don't really need them, but if it's there, I'd like it to work. And the other one, the tool release button on the side here, didn't work. I read up that they're common to break, and when I took this casing off, the back of the switch was all broken. The plug was just hanging up the top. But when I bridged the terminals, it does the tool change and it works. So £2.50 on a new switch, and we're back up and running. We've got the pendant, the hand control pendant there, hand wheel pendant, which is brilliant when you're trying to lean into the machine and do parts. This one has obviously been upgraded by somebody else at some point with the LCD, so you've not got the big CRT monitor coming right back here. This is now empty. We've got our manual with the machine. Someone's upgraded it to a USB floppy disk to USB emulator, which is great, but it took me pretty much a whole day to work out how to get programs in and out properly. And here it is. This is our current commands page. Again, you'll have to excuse the reflections. I don't know which way is best to see. Different pages, variables, positions, offsets, and then if you go into memory, this is currently the program that I've got in there. I will get rid of this sort of list at the beginning of the program, but this is just listing the tools that I've got. Purely for my own benefit at the moment while I'm doing a program, and there's 11 tools in the program. And I can go through and double check everything, put my tools into the machine, load each one, do the offset on each one, and make sure I've got everything right, set the coolant for each one, and then yeah, get everything right. So there's that machine, some of our tooling. And then this is a fixture I'm currently making. I've done this one already, but I just wanted to change a couple of bits on here. So although this one will do the job, it's a case of I'm going to do it again because the cost of material is next to nothing and it's good practice for me. So I've just changed a few things in the CAD-CAM in Fusion 360. So we put this in there. It started off as 1-inch stock. We faced it off the top, then we drilled these holes, but we're adding 4 more holes in here that are going to be M10 by 1.5. We pocket out, and then we 2D do a pocket here, and there's a small pocket on that tapped hole as well, and these corner pockets, and then we've got a chamfer on the outside and the inside. Part gets flipped over, faced off, and this here I just deburdened myself, but on the next one I've done a program so we can run a chamfer around there as well. And if I open the laptop here, there's the program, and there's all our ops and stuff like that. Fusion 360 is very new to me, so I'm just sort of learning the right way, the wrong way to do things. Well, not the wrong way, but trying to learn the correct way and make things quicker and simpler, and getting help from quite a few people, and obviously the tutorials. So yeah, I'll do you a bit of footage showing you the machine actually running, doing some cuts, and we'll go from there. But I'll show you the part, might do a bit of setup stuff, because what I found was going through, even though these machines, they're old now, so they've been around for a long time, so there's plenty of people that know how to use them. If you've got a newer machine with the next generation control on it, at the HAAS, then there's hundreds of videos on YouTube, and HAAS themselves, I think it's Marc Terryberry does HAAS tip of the day, but it's all new controls, and some of it is relevant to this because some things haven't changed, but there's not many good videos for the older stuff. So for me, when I'm buying this second hand, I found some information through Google and searches, Practical Machinist Forum and things like that, but there's not as many videos showing you the old controls. So I might just put a couple out there, not because it's the greatest thing and it's all new, because they are very old machines and most people will know how to use them and how to go through it. But for people like me who've bought an older machine and now every bit of information you find on the net is for the new controller, there's a couple of videos I'd like to do that I think would help. So I'll come along with them soon in the next few weeks, hopefully, bit by bit, and I'll probably do them a bit later on in the evening so we can get the control showing up on the screen better without the reflection. So yeah, I'll get this part loaded and sorted, get everything dialed in, and then I'll get you a bit of footage of the machine working. Cheers for watching. I'll show you a little bit of this part running now. We set our G54 using the HAAS 3D taster that we got here, and I did just start to run this program, but it come up with a tool life usage when it got to tool 4, which is setting the machine obviously from previous owners, so it stopped and alarmed out, so it's already faced and spot drilled and drilled one hole, if you just wonder why it's there. So yeah, let's go. It's now going to reface, but obviously there's nothing to cut. Speed that up a bit. Spot drills. .5 mil drill. It's on deep hole drilling with full retracts just to clear the chips. You wouldn't really bother if you had through spindle coolant. And this is an 8.5 mil drill. These holes are later on going to be tapped to M10 by 1.5. Now it's going to do a 20mm mill, profiling around the outside of the part. This is full depth of cut. Running about 1mm above the height of the jaws. Turn the chip auger on now. That's some adaptive clearing, 2D adaptive. Now this is a 3.5mm mill, just doing a finish cut on the bottom surface, and it's going to go in as well and take out the corners, the little 8mm diameter pockets in the corners. Unfortunately, I'm not brave enough to put the camera in the machine yet. But I may see if I can hook a mount up in the top corner, because I don't think it will get splashed from there. Now a bit of rigid tapping, which just makes me nervous. But it's so nice, so clean, so simple, so precise. That was a 12mm, this is a 6mm rigid tap. And now there's 4 M10 by 1.5 to rigid tap. And that's the part done. Let's have a little look. And there we go. Got a nice chamfer all the way around on the inside, the outside. We are got a profile milled around there. Our bed of the part. 2 pockets here. They're chamfered around as well. I could have done these holes to be fair, but I forgot. Let's try the threads. Got M6. M12, and let's grab a M10. We'll see how they come out. We'll try the M6 first. So there's the go. You know the tap's going to do the right hole, it's just a case of if it's sloppy or moving around too much. And there's the no-go. Goes in about half a turn. And then M12 by 1.5. That's lovely, really nice fit. I'll have to put in the program, or remember next time I do a part, to put the chamfer. You wouldn't get in that one, but we would have got on these ones. And the no-go doesn't even go in half a turn. And lastly, the M10. Lovely fit again. And the no-go, not even half a turn. Exactly what we wanted. So yeah, that's my first bit of Fusion 360 and my first VMC programming. Real nice finish. I've got a lot to learn about speeds and feeds and little tweaks, again, like putting a chamfer on these holes, forgetting little things like that. But I'm really happy. This is about 3 days learning, or 4 days with Fusion 360 and about a week with this mill. So you can get quite a lot done when you're new to this, even though you think, oh, I don't want to learn it, I'll stick to the old ways or do whatever. Using something like Fusion 360, it's just such a powerful tool. So even for someone like me who's never done CNC, I learned a bit on the lathe, but that's not G-code or anything like that, that's conversational. So going from the open bed mill, the XYZ, the first thing I've ever had with the conversational, which is really simple, to something like this where I can create a part, draw it, add bits to it, tap it, mill it, do whatever I need to do in basically a week. of owning the machine and actually getting it installed and powered up. And I've got a fixture like that in about 20 minutes. That's fantastic. So yeah, I'll bring you back to show you the next part. Cheers for watching.